Explain the basic functionality of ECU State Manager. So it is one of the most important BSW module. So its main function is to initialize and deinitialize the OS, the scheduler manager, and the BSWM, as well as some basic software driver modules. It configures the ECU for sleep and shutdown whenever these states are requested. It manages all wake-up events on the ECU. And also, it provides wake-up validation protocol to distinguish between real wake-up events from erratic ones. Erratic means wrong ones. So in ECM, we have two types, fixed and flexible. So explain the differences between these two. So in case of fixed ECUM, it manages fixed set of ECU states, off, run, and sleep, and transition between these states like startup and shutdown. This is sufficient for conventional ECUs that do not have special requirements, such as partial or fast startup. Fixed ECUM does not support multi-core ECUs. So in conventional ECUs, we used to have fixed ECUM module, but in the latest ECUs, we have flexible ECUM because it has certain advantages. So coming to flexible ECUM, it is much more powerful and gives way to fixed set of state and transitions between them to allow following scenarios. So in case of flexible ECUM, we can have partial or fast startup. That is, an ECU starts with a limited set of capabilities in partial startup, and later on, it will continue the startup process step by step. Also, it have interleaved startup where the ECU starts minimally and then starts the BSW and software components, thus interleaving the BSW and application startup. It have multiple operational states, and the main advantage is for multi-core ECU. So in multi-core ECUs, we have different states like startup, shutdown, sleep, and wake up for different cores. So with flexible ECUM, we can achieve that. So these are the main states of a fixed ECUM. So we have startup, run, wake up, shutdown, sleep. So when we power on, the control goes to the startup. And from startup, if it is normal startup, we will enter run state. But if it's like a wake up signal we have received from integrated power control, then it goes to wake up state. And from wake up state, if we receive another command, we will go to run state. And from run, if applications have shut down, we will go to shutdown. And if it is power off will happen. If it is a reset, again it will go to startup. And from shutdown, it can enter into sleep state also. Sleep is like a power saving mode. And if in sleep, we receive a wake up event, we'll go into wake up state. And from shutdown, if we receive wake up event, then also it can go to wake up. So in startup state, the state is divided into two parts, one before OS is initialized and the one post OS initialization. The main purpose of startup state is to initialize the basic software modules. Run state, after all modules of basic software including OS and RT have been initialized, the fixed ECM module enters into run state. It indicates the software components in the application layer that the RT and BSW are initialized and now it can start functioning. So run state is the normal state where the BSW and application communicates with each other. Shutdown state. It handles the controlled shutdown of basic software modules and results in one of the three selected shutdown targets for the ECU, that is sleep, off, or reset. So in these positions, the shutdown state is entered. An important activity in this state is to write non-volatile data back to NVRAM because we have certain critical data that needs to be stored when power is turned off. So during this shutdown state, this data gets written into memory. Sleep state. This is a power saving state in which no code is executed. However, there is still a constant supply of power to keep the ECU running. The sleep state provides a set of sleep modes referred to as shutdown targets. They provide a trade-off between power consumption and time to restart the ECU. So sleep state is basically used to save power, and in this state there is no code execution. Wake up state. The wake up state is entered when the ECU comes out of the sleep state due to wake up event. It also provides a protocol to verify whether a wake up event is valid and intended wake up event or it was caused due to some erratic conditions. Off state. The off state describes an unpowered ECU in which its power supply is completely cut off.